Fanboy3 mug.
Hello, hello everyone. We're back for the second interview already of this BGTC UK VC. Yes, it's twice in a row. I've nailed it. Oh, that's all I've been doing. I was up till 3 a.m. just doing that over and over and over again.
You deserve a badge.
A pin badge. Have we mentioned pin badges?
No pin badges.
Don't mention pin badges. So hello everyone. Thank you for tuning it in. We've got Chris back with us, and then we are joined today by Dave of Fanboy3, in case you hadn't already guessed by the big Fanboy3 thing here and the title of the video. But thank you so much, Dave, for joining us. I know you must have a load on, so we really appreciate you taking the time out. So, yeah, how are you?
Well, thank you very much for that. It's a great idea. So.
That's good. It's all that Mr. Anderton's fault. We're all blaming him. So yeah, I popped by the shop a little while ago, Fanboy3, and I have to say I was very impressed. I don't get over to Manchester very much, and so as soon as I had the opportunity to go over, I was like, I'm definitely getting into Fanboy3, and it's just such a cool shop. You just have so much stuff in there, but also like the amount of space dedicated to the community side of things and things like that is really impressive. So yeah, well, congrats on an awesome shop.
It is a very good shop.
Yeah,
very good shop.
It must be one of your closest ones, I suppose, Chris.
Yeah, we have.
Your most regular visitor.
We've got a local shop in Blackpool, but yeah, really, Fanboy3 is my go-to if ever I can.
Yeah.
It's a 45-minute drive, so it's not too bad, is it?
Yeah. So Dave, maybe you could just fill.
40 odd stores, I think.
Sorry.
Say again.
I said there's about 40 stores, I think, in the northwest. It's it's one of the parts of the country with the most game stores in it. So, in fact, there's 4 game stores, including me, within 1 minute of me.
Wow!
Yeah.
I hadn't realised that.
But there's not that many between me and you. There's one in Blackpool. There's one in Preston, which was part of the same company as the Blackpool one, and then, as far as I know, there's Manchester. That's it.
Yeah. So,
very good.
so yes, it's mostly sort of between.
Yeah, Dave, maybe you could just fill us in a bit on the history of Fanboy3, how it came about, and kind of how you set it up sort of slightly differently to most of the other shops that were around at the time.
Well, so I used to work for Travelling Man for 7 years, and during my time at Travelling Man, we opened like 8 branches, pretty much. And one thing we noticed was that people would come in all the time and they want to know where they could play. You know, they'd say, well, this is great, you still have these games, but where can we play these games? And we'd heard about organised play as a concept because, you know, the American magazines were talking about it. And you were like, well, how could this even work? You know, one day I was sat at Gen Con UK, when there was a Gen Con UK, and I was sat with a whole load of industry luminaries. And I was saying, I think the next big wave is organised play stores, you know, places where people can come in and have a game and, you know, chill out and just engage with the hobby and stuff. And everyone said, it can't work. It's impossible for it to work in the UK. The ground rent's too high, you know, you know, the pressure on cities for spaces is too great. It's never going to happen. So obviously that was like a red rag football to me. And they would say, you don't understand how the gaming industry works. You just work at Travelling Man. You know, you just don't understand the finances or anything. So I was like, well, okay then. And so I accepted the challenge and opened in 2004 in Manchester. And, you know, people had run organised play in store before, but we really put it front and centre. It was like just what we did. You know, we just had events for all sorts of different games all the time. When there was an organised play programme, I was like, oh, me too. And so we just basically jumped on anything as it happened, and then infilled with role playing because my great love is role playing games. So I wanted to make sure that we had, you know, as much role playing as we possibly could. Because, it's something that you could do. Like, I used to roleplay when I was unemployed in Bradford, and I just basically spent all my time playing roleplay games. And, it was this fantastic thing that you could do. Like, I've been playing here with the kids and stuff during lockdown. And it's like you can just carry on. You can just carry on playing role-playing games. Like, if I was trapped in my student house in Bradford, we'd have gone like, yes, fantastic 10-week party, and we'd have played through the entire Contemporary of Evil or something. It's a fantastic thing that people can do for very long periods of time, and it doesn't get boring.
Very cool.
So that's sort of where it came from. That first year, we imagined, like, I used to run the website at Trolling Man. I used to think that I would spend the first year or so building a website whilst occasionally a customer would come in, but we were swamped from the moment we opened.
Yeah.
So, which is a good thing, but it changes how you operate, because we stayed open really late at night. We got in quite late in the morning. And we were just this community hub. There's a guy who wrote about third space, a guy called Homi K. Baba, and he talks about the need for spaces between you have home and you have work, and then you have somewhere in the middle where your life happens. Because you don't have the demands on your life of home and work. You have this place where you go to, and you can be you, and. So, and he was writing in about 2004 as well. So that's kind of what we accidentally sort of created.
Yeah.
But obviously, all the strengths of an organised play store are actual weaknesses when you are, in lockdown and you can't have any form of social distancing. Like, our capacity, if we had 2 metre capacity rule in store when we reopened, which will reopen on the 5th of June for in-store purchasing, and we're doing click and collect at the moment, and we're doing some home deliveries, but and mail order. But when beyond that, when the pubs reopen, there'll be pressure to reopen some element of social spacing, and our capacity goes from 128 downstairs to 16, which is challenging.
Yeah.
And it's not impossible to do that with like a board game table or a role-playing game table. It's just not. You just can't make it work. So.
Yeah. Well, because obviously, so a few years ago, you you made the move to a much larger premises, and it has got that huge space downstairs for gaming and stuff. And with the focus being so much on the community side of things in Fanboy3, obviously you still have a huge range. I think I saw something earlier you saying you have something like 10,000 different items, which is almost as many group t-shirts as we have every year. But that represents a huge challenge. If you've not already got that online presence, so you've had to kind of learn that very quickly, and you've moved a bunch of that stuff online to be able to do mail order and things like that. And so, how have you found that process in general?
Yeah. Hard work. It's quite tricky. Like, when I was trying about it was just a line of HTML with a price, and now it's like an entire sort of listing with I've got to have all the stuff attached to it. So we're sort of building like multiple things sort of simultaneously, but we don't want to be like every other web store, because the problem is it's like the other web stores exist, and so if you're looking for a copy of Wingspan or whatever, you go to your browser and you type in Wingspan, and it's going to pull up like 100 people selling it,
Yeah.
and then you're going to pick price and delivery and whatever. So I can't in all consciousness build like a massive sort of online store, but I can build like the sort of store equivalent of browsing the shelves of Fanboy3 is kind of my goal. But unfortunately, that means I'm putting in like mini reviews, and I'm changing the art and all sorts of stuff and things, which is like what you shouldn't do. I mean, So it's going to take about a year, I think, to get 10,000 products online. But we're concentrating on like new releases and like the key things and all our Kickstarter stuff that we back, because we back a lot of Kickstarters. Because like for me, it's not just about how I do as a store. You know, it's when you're an organised play store, it doesn't matter in a way how you as a store work, because if I put every other store out of business, I mean, how many people game in the UK? I mean, how many of them can I fit in my 128-person downstairs organised play space? Not everyone who games in the UK. I need there to be stores all around the country. Like everyone's got like a local store that can teach them how to play games, that can basically hold stock, you know, for the key things that if you come in and say, hey, I've heard about board gaming, you're like, yes, come over here. I've got a whole load of board games that I can sell you and teach you, you know, or role-playing games or religious games or card games. You know, you need that network, which is why we set up the UK Organised Play Store Network, so we can sort of communicate information to all those stores, you know, and then the players will travel. Like escape rooms, you know, escape rooms are insanely popular, and people will travel the world going to all the escape rooms, you know, and the idea is, hypothetically, you know, that's why we set up the Meeplin guide for the board game cafes. The people who went to one board game cafe would probably, if they were in, you know, Newcastle, want to go to Meeple Perk. If they were in Croydon, they'd want to go to Ludicrous. If they were in Oxford, they want to go to Thirsty Meeples. You know, it's like it's that would be their we're in Oxford, let's go to Thirsty Meeples. That would be their hobby in a way, would be travelling around visiting all these places. If there's only one of them, that's not a hobby. That's a thing. You know, like I would always go to the castle if I'm in there. I go, there's a castle over here, and it's a similar castle to all the other castles I've seen, but it's slightly different. You know, and people like that. People want to. We're hunter-gatherers, like set collection, and we like to travel around and see things that we recognise and have conversations with people that we're familiar with. Yeah, if that makes sense. So this is why I think that everyone will eventually emerge from this and want social spaces again. And we just have to, you know, the problem is if the board game cafes and the board game stores and the role-playing game stores in the world cease to be, you know, we had stuff to sell. We could sell stuff to people, which is something a cinema or theatre can't do. So if our part of the hospitality and entertainment industry goes, everything else goes. You know, the whole of culture goes. You know, I'm not saying that we're a theatre or a symphony, an orchestra or something, but it's like you know, we're all part of the same continuum. Yeah. You know, and the stuff that we're doing at the moment, the stuff the government's doing at the moment, is kind of like, yes, let's get back to manufacturing stuff and get the stock market performing again. And you're like, you know, there's all these things that they just don't work. You know, they don't work when you've got a reduction in your seats for your restaurant from, you know, 60 seats to 4. Yeah. I mean, that's not going to pay your chef. You know, how's that going to pay your wait staff? You know, how's anyone going to be able to earn any money in that situation? No one's going to be able to. So, you know, and it's kind of, you sort of feel that there's a point where everyone's like, hey, we've got this licked and we're going to solve all the problems on the 15th of June. It's really not going to. I mean, at any stage of Fanboy3, you might have, you know, 50 people in browsing. You know, it's rare, but Saturdays like that. And now we might have like 8, you know, and they can't browse. I mean, the point is, it's browsing. It's not going in and buying some toothpaste. You know, it's like it's you know, and all the dress stores. You know, people are going in and you can't try stuff on, and you know, you can't look at stuff. You just basically have to walk around the thing, pick a thing off a rail, and go and buy it. I mean, this is just not. This is alien to how people shop and interact. So, you know, I just think I think it's going to be a longer problem. But you know,
there's a long way to go. Yeah.
So what's the biggest thing that people can do to help shops like Fanboy3 sort of during this time until we're able to get back to some sense of normality?
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of stores in the States that have sold gift cards, but the problem with the gift card is that this is the this is the sort of phony war period. Like, stores like us, most of us, like Nabil was saying earlier, we've furloughed all our staff. They're all sat at home, bored to tears, but at least they're not, unemployed. But there's a point after this, and you sort of see it in the US where the stores are sort of reopening. A lot of them would have sold gift cards during that period, and now people are coming in to redeem those gift cards, and it's like, well, that was the point where they don't have any money. It's a tricky one. I was lucky because I'd stockpiled enough money to cover what we felt was going to be Brexit, and then we felt we were going to have to do some pivoting when Brexit hit. But obviously this has hit first. So remember us. That's the thing. That's the thing. I mean, it's like, check in with us, see how things are going. It's nobody got into the gaming industry to be rich. It's not an industry where you make rich and wealthy money. It's something we got into because we love games. Most of the time, we opened stores because we wanted to engage with people. We wanted to talk to people and have the conversations about what's your favourite game, what's the best game you played during lockdown, that sort of thing. We want to engage with our customers. And that's what we do. And so for a lot of the stores, it's like they're sat at home. I mean, they're probably dealing with depression, anxiety. I mean, a lot of people in the industry are. And while it's good in a way, you've dealt with a lot of the stuff that you feel in lockdown normally, if you're suffering from depression, anxiety, and a lot of people out there who have never felt that, and now they are feeling that. But it's harder to reach out and hug another human being, if they need it.
Definitely.
And virtual hugs aren't necessarily that great compared to real ones.
I must say, you're getting a lot of love in the comments. A lot of people just saying how much you go out of your way to promote the hobby in general, and not just Fanboy3. Just how helpful you are with your kind of some of your regular release posts and your insightful comments about the industry in general. And I must say, it's I've seen it certainly with some of the people that are trying to put up Kickstarters and things like that. Just the advice you have for the tail of their Kickstarters of their product, when they're thinking immediately about the Kickstarter now. And
whenever there's a thing in the industry, I'm on the Gamma Research Division board, and whenever there's a thing in the industry that needs people to help with it, the goal is how can we help as quickly as possible? How can we put artists in touch with writers? How can we get products to market? How can we talk through the problems people might have? How can we get more people to open game stores and understand, how to run game stores? How can we, liaise with bits of bureaucracy? We're working at the moment on the things that we can put in place for stuff like this. And I deal with a lot of American stores, a lot of American businesses, and I was actually touch and go because I was trapped in Vegas. I'd been to the Gamma Expo, and that had been until the last event before lockdown happened. And as I was leaving the US, the US was locking down entirely, but I was the last flight out of Las Vegas. I almost was in Las Vegas. I would be in Las Vegas now, helping my friend John Coviello run his store, if I hadn't made that flight. It's weird. It's stuff you never ever thought you'd see in your lifetime. But my goal isn't just the survival of Fanboy3. It's got to be how could we make it so that as many stores in the world, ride through this. I mean, we're lucky in the UK. We had a furloughing scheme put in. The US didn't have that exactly. Had a similar sort of thing, but it wasn't as good. So unemployment rates in the US are massive. And a lot of the stores in the US are just places where people go and play Magic, and they can't go and play Magic in them. And it's you see this tsunami of problems sort of coming down the pipe towards everybody, and the question is, how can we make it so that we all, as many of us as possible, are still here when it finishes?
Yeah, definitely. And Chris, we were sort of talking a bit about last night just about how, despite the size of the group's gotten, it's still a community aspect to it, and in a way, you were sort of talking about the maturity of people in the group most of the time. As soon as you said
in the
that,
hobby, I would say in the hobby more than just in the group. It's obviously it's a hobby that generally attracts people that are more mature of mind. Generally, and I've said this before, but I'm glad it's not a PlayStation or an Xbox group. That I'm assuming that would be hard to run. That would be hard work. Yeah. Whereas this isn't.
But people like Dave must be a real asset to that kind of group and that feeling of just being a really helpful place to be. I would have thought. Yeah.
Dave is one of our ambassadors. I've said it a few times. He is one of our ambassadors to the world. Really, he's an absolute gem, and he is the kind of person that is vital to the hobby.
Yeah, I completely agree. So, Dave, thank you so much for your time. It's gone rapidly. We'd ask people to please do go and support Fanboy3 anyway you can. Get on the website, order some stuff if you're able to. Get on the Facebook, which I'm guessing is all Fanboy3, Twitter, things like that. Show them love.
Yes, Yes, I mean we've been mostly the store's been operating on Facebook because essentially, although you have to, we're trying to integrate the new web store. I managed to mess up our messenger, which is not really a good position to be in. But if people email the store, fanboy3manchester@gmail.com, and if you go on the Facebook groups, you'll see page after page after page of photos of our shelves of what we've got in stock, because that was the easiest way of doing a pseudo site before we actually had the website up and running. So
very cool. So get along to the Facebook group.
This was great. I think it's amazing that it's come together so quickly. Really,
it really is.
Yeah,
it is.
It's been good. It's been an interesting
week.
We're
all good people. Yeah, I bet. Anyway. Thanks very much for having me.
No worries, Dave. Thank you. Thank you so much. And obviously, when you're back open, I'm sure we'll be shouting about it and get everyone along to come and say hi at a respectful distance and get playing games again.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens on the 15th. It's going to be because I don't want to go around Manchester. I've got a face mask. I'm sure Phil Bonowski will be talking about her excellent face mask. Later, but you just we want to reopen, but the problem is you want to make sure that people are safe.
Yeah.
That my staff are safe, that I'm safe, that my mum who's 97 is safe, that their mums are safe, that their grandparents are safe, their aunties are safe. It's their kids are safe. It's not just about the business side of it. It is kind of. That's the thing with the community. It matters. Everybody matters.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, thanks again, Dave, and we'll see you all this afternoon for some more chats.